So I've asked, every time I ask another Christian this question, I always get one of two answers. One is faith, and the other is circular reasoning. But the question is, why do you think the Bible is inspired?
Why do I think the Bible is inspired? Because Jesus thought it was. Everything rests on Jesus. If Jesus really rose from the dead, then he's God. And whatever God teaches is true. Jesus taught the entire Old Testament as the Word of God, and he promised the New Testament. You say, why trust Jesus? I just have a personal policy. If somebody predicts and accomplishes his own resurrection from the dead, I just trust whatever the guy says, okay?
Right, but we know what Jesus said from the Bible, so a lot of people would push that in the circular reasoning category, and it can't make any...
Yeah, the problem with that is we're not looking at the Bible as if it's an inspired text at this point. We just want to see if the documents that were written down are telling us the basic historical truths. And the multiple attestation that Jesus kept quoting the Old Testament and calling it the Word of God is enough for most historians to say that's what Jesus actually did. He did affirm the Old Testament, and he promised the New Testament. So that's why I think it's inspired. That's why I think it's inerrant. Not because I can answer every single question on it. Who can, right? It's a huge series of documents. I'm just going on what Jesus said. If he's God, whatever he teaches is true. And I think there's enough evidence to know the basic teachings of Jesus are actually the ones we have contained in those documents. Not because they're inspired Word of God, but because they're historical documents. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.